Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Metal video. In this video we are going to take a look at how the Syn Shenron performs in the Extreme Super Battle Road stage for the Shadow Dragon Saga. Now the power of Syn Shenron and the same name update means we can run double Omega leads and also have Syn Shenron be a linking partner to all of them. So we can run double Omega leads, we can run the Strength Omega Shenron, and the Strength Omega Shenron and Syn Shenron are going to be our go-to pairing. Strength Shenron lowers their attack by 40%, which obviously is a massive buff to Syn Shenron, and of course the two of them paired together share 6 links, so that's going to be very good as well. So obviously in this situation, we're going to just take a look at how they perform. In terms of this team build, this team could probably finish this event. To be honest with you, I definitely think it could finish the event. I can see it finishing the event. The only issue with this team is that it doesn't do a lot of damage. So without link leveling your units, it's going to be a little bit of an issue because they're not going to do that much damage. Syn Shenron won't do that much damage unless he crits. And even then he can't carry the workload on his own. So a lot of these units are going to benefit from link leveling, but we have very powerful pairings. We have Oceania Shenron and the Nova Shenron, the physical one, who are a very good pairing. They have a lot of utility in the form of sealing and stunning. And then we also obviously have the Strength Omega Shenron pairing up with Syn Shenron. And then we're going to have a floating SS4 Gogeta, we're going to have floating Omega Shenron physicals, and they are going to be able to get us a lot of attack down and defense down, and just going to enable us to basically stay afloat. So you can see here we have 5 links active. Pretty solid showing from them so far. 120k defense as well, obviously paired with the physical Shenron. So we're getting quite a bit of attack down from physical Shenron and from Gogeta. We're getting 40% in total, so it's basically like running a Whis effectively, or a mouse. So if you run the mouse item, it's basically like running the mouse item. And you can see there we're tanking double digits, which is obviously pretty damn good. 1.5 million, not too bad. We have that high chance to crit, and we're going to get an additional attack as well. And that's going to enable us to do quite a bit of damage and stack our defense. Now remember, we gain a 7% chance to crit for every single GT boss that's on the team. So obviously the more GT bosses on the team, the better. We currently only have SS4 Gogeta, who's not a GT boss, and the physical super based Nova Shenron is not a GT boss, I believe. So that's the only two. The rest are all GT bosses, so we're getting a very good amount of crit base for that Syn Shenron. So yeah, obviously you want to try and orientate your team build around being more GT bosses focused. Then you're going to want to just kind of leave it as Shadow Dragon Saga. But obviously that's just going to be entirely dependent on what units you have. Obviously Syn Shenron still is pretty good defensively, even without the build around the GT bosses. He sits at 120k defense without big bad bosses active, which is very good. And we don't run a lot of support here. Remember, the physical supernova, the super physical Nova Shenron doesn't give a buff to extreme Shadow Dragon Saga units. He only gives a defensive buff to super class Shadow Dragon Saga units. So from that aspect, everything's more than fine. I should say. I think Syn Shenron does a very good job. He's got a very nice kit. He provides some form of damage when he gets his crits going, but otherwise he doesn't do that high a level of damage. Definitely could do a bit more, but it's going to depend on if you link level him and whether you put gear on him or anything like that. So that's just going to determine how high he can go, or what his ceiling is in terms of damage. Defensively though, especially paired up with a Strength Omega Shenron, he is a lot better. He looks really good, really solid. He's basically a brick wall for us, essentially. With such a high level of defense, he looks really good. So yeah, I'm honestly quite happy with Syn Shenron's performance in this ESBR. I think he does really well. And I think, there's nothing too much more to say about it. I think obviously we can continue to look at his numbers and everything. We'll take a look at how he does without items. The perks of this team build is that you can do pretty well without items. Obviously just because, there's a lot of attack down. Like Omega Shenron's rocking 40% attack down. All of the floating units give another 20% attack down. You've got obviously the good defense of the Oceania Shenron and the Nova Shenron because they share Cold Judgment. And you've also obviously got, the big defense of Syn Shenron. So this team can do really, really well without items. It's just one of those teams. So yeah, it's very, very impressive, honestly. So there is ways you could improve this team. Obviously we have the Battlefield unit coming out for the Shadow Dragon Saga units. That'll be coming out in the Battlefield currency store, and you could use them to replace Gogeta, and that will obviously enable you to have one more GT Bosses member for the team, which will obviously improve things quite greatly. You could run Super 17 as well. He would add another GT Bosses, and he would improve the performance of the Syn Shenron. But yeah, realistically it's honestly just very small things you could do. Barring the link leveling to activate big bad bosses, there's not much more that you can do in terms of team building that will basically get more out of Syn Shenron specifically. But the team is definitely improving over time. Little things like this EZA, all those sort of things add up and they make the units look a lot better. So yeah, I definitely think that is pretty much everything we need to see from Syn Shenron. I don't usually cut the videos so short, but honestly there's not that much more that we need to see from him. And realistically, this is as good as it gets. So yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. How do you like Syn Shenron? Have you used him? And yeah, as always, take care and I'll see you in the next video. But until then, bye!